Good. Shows we're going. All right. Yep.
Okay, good morning, 944th Fighter Wing, live from Luke Air Force Base. It's Saturday morning of the May UTA. Welcome, and I just wanted to say thanks for being here. Those of you who are here at drill, and for those of you who are tuning in from elsewhere, we'll try to get you back reporting for duty as soon as the travel restrictions are lifted, and we're with you. And we're encouraging you to continue to do as much of your training remotely as you possibly can. So, welcome to the May UTA. I wish that we could be standing in the hangar so I could look you all in the eye while we're doing this commander's call. I'm sure most of you are happy that you're not. So, thank Chief for the great idea of doing this virtually. So, okay, first we'd like to start off with some award winners. Chief, do you want to say anything before we start off?
Yeah, thanks, boss.
Sure.
Hey, howdy, y'all. I'm super happy to be here. Today has been awesome already. I got to meet, social distancing included. I got to meet with the Chiefs group this morning. This is my first real UTA, and when I came out of the meeting, I heard voices in the hallway. Social distancing, obviously, the case, and masks on. But just to hear the people and the laughter and the camaraderie, it really boosts morale. Definitely for me, we missed out on our April UTA, so for the May one, this has been great. So I'm super happy to be here and excited for this adventure that we're fixing to be on.
Yeah, thanks for the reminder, and I'll jump ahead to the question and answer, and just to make sure I don't forget to address this. Just yesterday, I was talking to somebody, and I asked them what they did for the April UTA, and they told me that they thought April was canceled. And so I reminded them that April was not canceled, it was rescheduled. And so if any of you have not completed your April UTA, that's still available to you. And the expectation is that you'll do those days of duty. And we budgeted that money for you to get that training, and we'd like you to take advantage of that and get that training done remotely or at a different date, however it works for you and your unit. So your April UTA days are still available to you if you haven't done them already. All right, into some recognitions. First, with the quarterly award winners. This is the fourth quarter of last year, and we should be pushing out those names in the comments, and I'll let you all read them, but I just want to say congratulations to all of those folks, and great work to all of them. Okay, next up, 100% physical fitness test. There's a lot of names on here. That is fantastic. Those names should be going out as well, but great work to all of those folks for making fitness a priority, and 100% is no small feat. So congratulations to all of those folks, and keep up the good work. You should see those names coming out in the comments, and we'll move on. Okay, this one you should see a slide come through the comments right now. The Dedalian Trophy, the Clements McMullen Memorial Maintenance Dedalian Trophy. This one is a kudo for the maintenance group. 2 years in a row, they have partnered with the Active Duty 56th Fighter Wing, the 1K Maintenance, to win the Outstanding Maintenance Group Award for the entire Air Force. And that's 2 years in a row. So, man, hats off to all of our maintainers, and keep up the great work.
Yeah. Let's make it 3.
Yes, 3-peat.
Shoot for 3.
All right, load crews should see an awesome picture of a really handsome man surrounded by the load crew of the year, and man, again, kudos to the maintenance group. And this is the picture is of the Luke crew that won out of the entire Luke Air Force Base competition. And also need to shout out to our DM crew. The Outlaws won the DM Load Crew of the Year, and I think they also won every quarter too, didn't they, Chief?
Fun fact, sir. Yep, I just came from DM. Great unit. Those guys work hard. They crushed the competition. Nobody from the 355th, sadly, not so sadly, they weren't able to outperform those folks down there, the Outlaws. They took all quarters and then obviously competed against each other in one giant low crew comp. It was great times.
Awesome.
They're great.
Congrats to our maintainers there. Okay, a couple of Commandant Award names should be coming out right now. We had Senior Airman Nathan Harris from the LRS, ALS Commandant Award. That is awesome. Congratulations. And Master Sergeant Natalie Simonsow from the Security Forces. First Sergeant School Commandant Award. That was a big trophy.
Yep.
So awesome! Congratulations to both of those.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's great work.
Okay. And then the AFA. I'm going to apologize up front. Staff Sergeant Aon Ochoa Pacheco, Pitsenbarger Award. That is a big one. So the AFA Pitsenbarger Award is cool. So congratulations on that, and excellent work. And I just want to give a shout out, since we're talking about the Pitsenbarger Award. One of our honorary commanders has procured the movie The Last Full Measure for the wing, and we're going to arrange a special screening of that movie, and that's the story of William Pitsenbarger, who was awarded the Medal of Honor for gallantry during Vietnam. And we all know the story, but fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it, we're going to arrange a special movie night at the upcoming UTA. So thanks to Mike Schrader for and Miss Terry Frankel for making that happen. All right, that's the one other last late breaking recognition we'd like to do. The April Warrior of the Month. We were not able to hand that out last month, but from ASTS, Senior Airman Audra Hacker from ASTS was our Warrior of the Month for April. Congratulations to her. Keep up the great work. And she was recognized for helping out down at Davis-Monthan for the Heritage Flight certification weekend. That's a great thing to participate in. I know you guys probably saw a lot of that when you were down at DM.
Sure did.
She helped out a lot with that, and then she also contributed a lot to the readiness for the medical folks that just deployed. So congratulations to Senior Airman Hacker on the Warrior of the Month, and that is our recognitions for May. Congratulations to everyone, and keep up the great work, man. It's so great to recognize all these outstanding performers.
Yeah.
Over to you, Chief.
All right, thanks, sir. So I got some awesome notes here, but I think they'll go on the slides. So as always, some of the things I'd like to talk about is the resources that we have available for all of our airmen. No discrimination in there. Airmen with a capital A. Airmen and Family Readiness has proven that they're ready to take care of us at a minute's notice. The same with our chaplains. We've got great chaplains here out of the 414th down at Davis-Monthan. We have some that travel when we can travel from here down to DM, because it is such a pretty quick drive. So that's been fantastic. Mental health, Dr. Julie Reese. She's been amazing. I know a lot of our airmen have been talking with her, and that's always a great resource. She's available all the time, proven. And then obviously your first sergeants. I talked to the chiefs this morning at our briefing, and I asked them to please call their first sergeants. Your first sergeants right now are crushing it. They are on call all the time, answering questions, digging in, getting information, and are really taking care of our airmen. And I'm really impressed. Specifically, we have one first sergeant right now who is on full-time orders, and that's Shirt Moriano. And he has just been stellar. He's been able to not only take care of the airmen here, but he's very mindful of being able to take care of his family and his kids at home. So I'm super impressed with him. Another resource that I have not been talking about personally is our ESGR, and I believe we have two of our ESGR contacts that are potentially, I hope, online right now watching the Facebook Live, and that's Bill Adams and Rustin Shearer, and I believe that they'll go ahead and pass off their contact information. So anything that, for those that are working in the civilian force or whatnot, the employee support of the Guard and Reserve, these two individuals, as well as the whole program, is great. There's a lot of resources. If you're having issues with your employer, or you're maybe negative, but we also want you to talk to them about the positive impacts that your employer is helping you during these times, and not only just during COVID, but they're here for us all the time, 365 days a year. So I don't think that we talk about that great program enough, and that'll be one of my priorities, is to really start engaging and making sure we get that information out there. Lastly, I would like to give a shout out. Today is National Explosive Ordnance Disposal Recognition Day. Yes, that's going to get some laughs here in the office, and I'm sure somebody will say something. That's okay. Today is their day. It's a great time to recognize them. Our EOD, we have a great, fantastic EOD here in the 944th, so a big shout out to them. Boss and I were talking about it this morning. They have a memorial, we believe, at Eglin, a tribute to them, and they're probably most likely right now at this time doing something there at Eglin. So I'm sure you can find it online, and it's great for them. Lastly, I'd just like to close, like I always do, sir, with resiliency. Right now, we're still in tough times, right? The stop movement has been extended to 30 June. If you're here in the state of Arizona, you know that Governor Ducey has asked us to still stay in place till 15 May, and then we'll see what happens then. So it's another couple weeks in your house with your family and practicing safe social distancing and mitigating the spread of this terrible virus. So resiliency, get out, take a walk. I'm super excited when I look out of my house in the morning and I see families outside walking their dog and riding bicycles. And I think that if we're going to learn anything from this and take anything, that is something that we need to continue having in our lives, is that outside, take care of yourself fitness. We just saw, right, how many names on 100% fitness, and that's just 100% fitness slide. I'll bet you that there's probably 30 slides for the 90 and above, and another 400 slides for those of us that, for everybody that does great work. So stay hydrated. It's super hot out there, and that ain't no joke.
All right. Thanks, Chief.
Yep.
Okay, I think I'm next. Two things I want to that just popped into my mind that we need to remember before I get into my to my prepared notes. First, something happened last week that sort of got overshadowed by the COVID stuff was Admin Assistance Day. Shout out to Miss Terry. Thank you for everything that you do. You keep this place operating, and you help me find all my lost stuff. And thank you for keeping me on track.
She makes
I
us
couldn't do it
fancy.
without you.
She makes us fancy, sir.
That's right.
Flowers.
And then the next one is looking forward. I'm going to get it on record. Happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers out there. And I'm covered now. Nobody can say that
Well done,
I
sir.
forgot. All right. So happy Mother's Day. Okay, you should be seeing a graphic of our wing vision and mission statements and the priorities. So it's been right at a year since I was privileged to take command of this wing, and man, it's gone by like that. But I'd like to take a chance to just re-engage on some of these things and talk about what we've done in those areas and what we have yet to do in the future. So at the top there, who we are in this wing. We are elite reserve citizen airmen. We're engaged, ready, and resilient. You hear me talk about that all the time, the fact that we're elite. Almost nobody in this wing is here by accident, right? Almost all of us, virtually all of us, are here because we applied for a position. We volunteered to continue serving after we left active duty, or we came directly into the reserve component. So we are here by choice, and in most cases, we're here competitively. We've been selected by the organization, and so we are elite. And almost all of us, this is a reserve organization, and so you traditional reservists out there make sacrifices in your lives just for the privilege of putting on this uniform. So that does make us an elite force, and everyone needs to remember that. And the Reserve Citizen Airmen, yes, we are airmen, but we are Reserve Citizen Airmen, and I will hit on that a little bit when we talk about our culture. Engaged, ready, and resilient, that gets after the three main parts of us. We're engaged day to day alongside our active duty partners in every mission around the globe. Where they are, we are alongside with them. The ready gets at the strategic reserve part of our mission. We are a break glass in case of war kind of force, and we'll talk more about how we're prioritizing that strategic depth. And resilient. Chief talked about resilience. It's what allows us to be great. The fact that we're resilient and we can handle unpredicted things like a COVID virus or who knows what the next unpredictable obstacle is going to be. But our resilience gets through those. So that's who we are. What do we do? Well, our mission is to forge combat airmen to fly, fight, and win, right? So for those of you that can't remember all those words, we're here to forge and fight. I'm a knuckle dragon fighter pilot. I can remember two words: forge and fight. We make combat airmen, and those of us who are not engaged to that mission, that have the wartime tasked UTCs in our wing, they're the fly, fight, and win, the go and do it, the strategic depth part of our mission. So forge and fight, the two parts of our mission. Our three priorities, how we're going to get after our mission. First, advanced readiness and operational lethality, and that just gets at the two parts of our mission that I already kind of hit on. The strategic depth and the day-to-day operational engagement. And the reason that they're in that order is that over the past couple of decades, when we've been engaged in this fight against violent extremist organizations, we've let our strategic depth, we've sort of looked away from it a little bit, and now our national military strategy has asked us to do some things that are going to require a greater strategic depth. So that's at the top of our priority list now, and the things that we've done with our training plan have all been to prioritize our strategic depth. Operational lethality, that's our day-to-day mission, and we do that great. You guys do fantastic, and all of those awards that we recognized are a testament to that. Okay, next priority: attract, train, and retain resilient airmen and families. Folks, air power is the power of airmen, and families and our civilian airmen are in there as well. And the way that we keep a ready force is we attract them and we bring them in properly. And so the priorities that we have made in this area are mostly in the gaining side. How are we gaining people properly? How are we attracting the people that we want, getting them into the organization properly, and building that resiliency from the beginning? I'll talk some about the ways that we've been doing that. And finally, optimize the organization. This is how are we going to make this organization work more efficiently? And our priorities in this area have been in our admin support. We really have been striving to get after the admin support part of our piece that kind of keeps, it's the engine that keeps everything else running. And then underneath, that is all built on a foundation of the Reserve Citizen Airman culture. Folks, like I said, we're airmen, and we have that heritage, we have that DNA that goes back to Wilbur and Orville and Billy Mitchell and the Doolittle Raiders. These are folks that these are not blind rule followers. These are barrier breakers. They are boundary pushers. We have in our DNA that we are not accepting of the status quo, and that is what makes us great. We're innovative, and as a testament to that innovation, we have folks that just recently in the wing, before we even had the guidance to wear masks, folks folks figured out how to make masks, and I think in the wing we have actually made more masks than we have purchased so far, thanks to those efforts. And so it's that not waiting for somebody else to provide us a solution to the problem. Let's find a solution ourselves. That's the DNA, and that's the reserve citizen airman culture there. And then we balance that with the fact that we are a reserve force, right? We are, necessarily have to work at a more sustainable pace than our active duty counterparts, right? And since we all have civilian jobs and other things, we have to find a harmony in there, and that's a unique challenge to the reserve culture, is finding that harmony between your civilian job, your family, your personal life, and this military duty thing. Finding that harmony. You're never going to have a balance, but you got to find harmony. Okay. All right. That's basically who we are, what we do, and how we're going to do it. So how have we done over the past year? Okay. First, I'd like to talk about the readiness thing. If you asked me in March, I'd say we were doing great. Right? We had realigned our training program towards the National Military Strategy. We had condensed all the readiness training into as small a footprint as possible, and we had built some space to do some more advanced stuff geared towards a more expeditionary mindset, what we called multifunction airmen, which exposed airmen to skill sets that are outside their main area of expertise. And these are the things that people are going to need to be able to do if we have to go be a dynamic force that we're expected to do. So in March we were doing fantastic. Then COVID hit. We were just gearing up for our first Super UTA, and that caused us to do a little reset. Okay, and so moving forward, since we have lost a little bit of that training time, being ready for the RCP is going to be our first priority. We're just going to have to reorder those priorities, and RCP readiness is going to the top now. And then the new thing that we're going to have to start getting after, I've already started asking your command teams to look forward and find a way that we can find a sustainable way of operating in this COVID environment. Folks, this is not going away anytime soon until we have a widely available vaccine. We're going to be doing the things that we're doing now. We're going to be wearing masks. We're going to be social distancing. We're going to be, we may have travel restrictions. We might have restrictions on movement after you travel and so forth. We're going to need to find ways that we can go from where we are now, which is a reduced operational level. We need to get back up to our full operational level and be able to do that in this environment. And so that's the challenge going forward. We may have to dust off some of our old ATSO manuals, and we're going to need all of your innovative ideas to how to do that, how to operate in this environment. So I want to hear challenge accepted from a lot of you amazing airmen out there with good ideas. So how are we going to sustain operations in this environment? And then, man, our multifunction airmen skill sets are still on the table, but they are a lower priority now. We'd still like to get after that, but that's where we are in readiness. In the airmen and family portion, I think we're making some good strides there. We focused on gaining people right. With the emphasis being on newcomers, we've made some changes to the newcomers program, to the development training flight, and the key spouse program, and we have engaged the units even before members are on our books, to be bringing them into the organization, right? To be to ingrain the 944th culture into these folks, and to start building those connections that make us resilient. And we want to be doing that before they even show up for newcomers. So our development training flight folks, we've started assigning a sponsor to our folks before they go to basic training, and that person flight follows them all the way through the pipeline and provides a friendly voice to check in and when things are when there's questions. And then our key spouses, man, we have to keep our families involved in this because resilient families is a part of the equation. All right, in the organization, folks, one of my top priorities in reforming this organization was to fix the RTS travel voucher process. And I'd like to say that I've been able to push that one across the goal line, but we're not quite there yet. We've got support from General Scobie. We are waiting on the proper authorizations from higher levels so that we can implement the reforms that we're looking for to make our travel voucher process better. We've already started implementing some of the personnel changes that we need, but man, I wish I could say that we had achieved that one, but we have some work to do yet on voucher reform. We've done better on our admin support. We've reformed the organization on with the admin support, how they are organized throughout the wing to try and capitalize on some synergies there. We have added some authorizations in our command support staff. We've added some authorizations in our financial management, and we've got some overhires that we're able to get on the civilian side, and all of those folks are pointed towards the admin support side of the house. So we've seen a lot of good movement there, and I'm happy to report that. And on the culture side, it's the things that make us resilient, the things that make us able to do the great things we do is that connection, the culture that we have. I know that somebody out there hasn't had a paycheck in a couple of weeks or maybe a couple of months at this point. I know that somebody out there has lost loved ones to the COVID virus or hasn't been able to attend a funeral because of travel restrictions or hasn't been able to have a proper funeral because of social distancing and other measures and so forth. All of those impacts hurt us on a personal level. And I just want to say that if you are one of those folks, please reach out to your wingman, to the resources that Chief talked about, and allow those folks to prop you up, because I guarantee if it's you that's being propped up right now, in a few weeks or months it's going to be you that's going to have an opportunity to help out one of your teammates. So please make those connections. They make us all stronger. Okay. The foundation, everything that we do is culture that I talked about. It's the culture of the Reserve Citizen Airmen. We take care of each other. I mentioned that we have in our DNA that we are unaccepting of the status quo. We're not afraid to take risk, and because of all those things, our resilience, we achieve the extraordinary. And we do that because we are unwilling to accept ordinary. And we do that because we stand together, and so it's those connections that make us strong. And speaking of connections, I want to. I think we have somebody on the phone now who's deployed to the New York City area. One of our 17 medics that went out to New York to fight COVID. I think, do we have Major Windsor on the phone?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, we have Major Lizzie Windsor from the Med Squadron, and she's on the phone from New York. Can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I hope everybody can hear you out there, but I just wanted to say, hey, thanks for volunteering, and you guys are making us all proud out there. And I just wanted to ask you, how are things going?
So things are going really good. The second batch, by the time we got here, things were slowing down quite a bit. We have, initially our tour was up until May 5th, and some of them were extended, and then just now we just heard that our mission is up until May 23rd, and there are a few folks who've gone to, like one of our troop members is in Newark, and she's the only one who's going to stay till end of May or even end of June. So the first group in the Army kind of, days away, and we were able to go in there and close down the Javits Center, which just closed down yesterday.
Super.
And now we're getting reassigned to the hospitals because apparently the hospitals still have some needs. So I've been reassigned to Queens Hospital, and I'll be joining there on Monday. And we had a couple of folks already, 3 of them in the hospital throughout the boroughs. So it has been really good. We've really been very well taken care of, so no complaints here.
All right, thank you. I know you guys have been, you're basically on the front lines there at, in the New York City area. And I just wanted to ask, what would you say is the best part, the best thing that you have seen so far in this deployment?
I think the best part really has been the camaraderie between all the groups, be it Army, Navy, or Air Force. Everybody's been working really well together. And I think that's the best part. And also the work that the setup in the Javits Center, the great work everybody did with the PPE. In fact, we had people who would be waiting in line to help us, put on the PPE before we went in. So that was seamless, and I thought they did a great job with that.
All right. Any negatives that you want to report? What's the worst thing that you've experienced?
I haven't experienced anything bad, but some of the reports from the group members from the hospitals have been, I guess. People are overwhelmed, so some of the care that they're used to seeing has not been, to what the expectation was, but then, these are trying times for everybody. So, but truly, honestly, we haven't really seen. We expected the worst, but we haven't been met with that. Everything has been pretty smooth thus far.
Yeah. I know that when you shortly after you got there, one of the first requests that came back to the Air Force Reserve Command staff was a request for some chaplain support and resources for the providers that went out there because of the things that you are doing, and unfortunately a lot of the patients have not made it through their fight with COVID, but. And that's hard on you all, and so my hat's off to you for doing what you're doing, and I would just foot stomp the things that we've just been talking about, the resiliency piece, and man, don't hesitate to lean on those resources, whether it's chaplain, mental health, your wingman. Reach out to somebody and make sure that we're all keeping ourselves strong in this area. Did you get a chance to see the Thunderbirds fly over the other day?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
oh, cool.
Me and a few of our folks were able to see. Yeah, that was tremendous.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry to say that you got the B team, but I have to say that our flyover yesterday was way better than the Thunderbirds.
I'm pretty sure it was.
All right, that was fantastic, and to be able to support all of the frontline first responders and essential workers with that flyover yesterday was fantastic, and I got to talk to a couple of the media outlets, and I told them all the same thing. I said, made it even more meaningful to me knowing that some of our reserve citizen airmen are those doctors and nurses and EMTs down there in the clinics that we were flying over, and I knew that they were going to be putting on uniforms this weekend and coming to drill, and so that for me made it really special to be able to participate in that. So I'm glad you got to see the Thunderbirds, and I guess the Thunderbirds and Blue Angels are okay, but you really would have liked our flyover. All right.
Yes.
Anything?
Appreciated everything.
Anything that you'd like to add to the wing?
No, I'm just thankful for all the support from the wing and people, and we've been getting texts while we were here from our own group and, like carnivores. And so we know that we have a lot of support back home, and we've seen a lot of support here. So thank you for all that.
All right, great, and don't hesitate to reach out if there's anything that we can do to help on the home front with families, homes, yard work, any of that stuff. Reach out and let us know what we can do to help. Okay, Chief, you want to add
Okay,
anything?
Thank you.
Oh,
Anything from Chief?
hi, ma'am. This is Chief Buchanan. I just want to say thanks, and I haven't personally met you yet, but I'm looking forward to hopefully when you guys get home, they'll reduce the social distancing thing, and we can do more than fist bumps and whatnot. Give you guys a hug and just tell y'all thanks for what you're doing. You're making a difference for the great Americans. So thanks and stay safe. We're here for you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Major Windsor, and again, thanks, and keep up the great work.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, that was awesome to check in with her, and those folks are making us proud out there. I think now it's question and answers. I think hopefully we've got some questions that have come in, and if not, then I'll have Chief make up some questions for us. So
You do not want that to happen, sir.
okay. Okay, all right, here's one that I expected. All right, what are the plans in the future for non-local traditional reservists? Will they still be able to participate in the UTAs or annual tours? So, even with the travel restrictions that are in place right now, our TRs have the ability to participate remotely. We can do telework if you have that ability, and we've rolled out so many resources. One of the silver linings to this COVID situation is that we've really been able to break down some barriers in the area of telework, and so the number of different resources available to get to your email, to get to your desktop virtually. You don't even have to have your own government laptop anymore, and in some cases you don't even need a CAC reader to get to a lot of these resources. So the ability to actually get some work done is way improved over just a few months ago. So you should be able to do virtual work to some extent. And then there's also alternate duty locations. If you live near a base, you can work out something with your command team to do that. And so that's what you can do when the travel restrictions are in place. And then there's obviously, you can reschedule your drills and annual tours for a later date. Looking forward, we're optimistic that the travel restrictions are going to be relaxed at some point in the future. Currently they go through June 30th, but we're told that they're going to be looking at those about every 2 weeks, and there's the possibility that they may start relaxing those before June 30th. But we have to be under the assumption that this is not going to end quickly, and so that's kind of what I was talking about. How are we going to operate at a full level in this environment? And telework is going to be part of it. So hopefully that answers the question. There's a lot of resources available, and there's always reschedules. So everyone will have the opportunity to earn a good year for the year. We've already done some policy updates that will allow for even if you haven't been able to get all your annual tour done or your required IDTs, there's a certain number that can be waived, and those policy decisions have already been made. So everyone who's got a question of whether or not they're going to earn a good year, the answer is yes. If you want to do the duty that's already been allocated for us, the number of annual tour days and the number of inactive duty days, the UTAs, those are already there, and you will have the opportunity to do those. So hopefully that answers the question. All right. Okay, this one goes to Chief.
Uh-oh.
I need to borrow an A10, please. No.
Hello, DM. Well played.
Yeah, sadly.
Well played.
Can't help you there, but there's a picture of one right here. So,
And
all
some
right.
other really cool airplanes as well.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions that come through? All right, some other ones that we've been anticipating. Leave carryover. There's some questions about whether or not folks who have earned leave during this time are going to be able to use it all, and what's going to happen with use or lose leave. Well, on the military side, they have already made the decisions to allow for more than the normal amount of leave carryover. Those procedures are already in effect. On the civilian side, we're still working on it. There are some procedures in place that if your leave is canceled, that can be maintained, and you can carry over the excess. But on the civilian side, there's still a little work to do, and we'll keep you posted as to that. But we are aware of the need that folks might not be able to use all of their leave during this year, and the intent is that no one will lose leave because of COVID-19. All right. What else? Re-enlistments. Chief, do you want to talk about how re-enlistments are happening during COVID-19?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Like you talked about, sir, with some of this stuff can still be done virtually. We've seen it, and I think it actually can sometimes have its advantages. But I know that the FSS is diligently pushing that information out and making it so that either re-enlistments or extensions, we get those all within before it even becomes an issue for our members, to make sure that we're taking care of them. The last thing we need is for that to be a linchpin and having somebody potentially ETS out. So the FSS is diligently working that and getting that information out to your CSSs to make it happen. But we'll do everything we can to get folks re-enlisted via Skype, Facebook. We can get creative, and it's great. We talk about innovation all the time, right, with our airmen, and this is just yet another case that they're getting innovative with.
Right. Annual tour is another question mark for a lot of you. I know there's some folks that a lot of units have TDYs on the books to use your annual tour. Some of those have already been canceled. Some of those are in jeopardy based on the travel restrictions. And then even looking beyond that, there's what's the airlift situation going to be coming out of this? So there are a lot of questions on the TDY and travel front with regard to annual tour. Mm-hmm. And so I'd like to, go back to my talk about priorities. And as we sort of pivot towards readiness for our upcoming reserve component period, a lot of the command teams are going to be looking at how do we leverage that annual tour to make sure that our units are ready to go. So we may see some units convert TDYs to home station annual tours simply to maximize training value. So some question marks on the annual tour. So I'll just throw it out there that I expect that everyone will be able to do all of their allocated annual tour days. I expect that command teams are going to use them to get the maximum training and readiness value out of them. If they can do that by going TDY, then that's all the better. That's a bonus. So those of you whose TDYs have not been canceled, I'm with you. I'll do what I can to make them happen, but please stay in contact with your command teams for changes. But everyone will be able to accomplish all their annual tour days. Some questions about if they've already been converted to home station annual tour, how is that going to be done? And I'll say, talk to your squadron leadership on how they want to use those days. There are a variety of ways that we can do home station annual tour, whether it's small groups of a couple of days or a couple of larger chunks. But the bottom line is we got to make sure that we're getting the maximum training value out of those annual tour days. All right. Fitness exemptions. Yeah, I was hoping to have an answer on this one. As you know, fitness folks who were due in April and May have already been given a 6-month extension on that, with the travel restrictions extending into June. So June is now a question mark on what we're going to do with fitness for people who are doing June. I know that's a conversation that's ongoing at headquarters Air Force Reserve Command, and also in the Pentagon with the Reserve Office up there. They're working on it. I was hoping to have a decision before the UTA, and I may still have something by the end of the UTA, but as soon as I can get that out to you, I will. Until then, if you're testing in June, my advice is to be ready. Assume that you're going to test in June somehow. You know, we have the new alternate indoor running option, which apparently is not easy. So I would anticipate maybe practicing that one a few times before you go out and try to take that cold turkey. But
We can ask Colonel Rassus about that.
our stunt double tried that out. He said it's not easy. So yeah, be ready to test in June until we tell you not to. So that's fitness. Okay, are there any other questions that have come in from the group? Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'd like to just add a shout out to our honorary commanders and the Booster Club members and the Fighter Country Partnership. You know, a lot of the resources that Chief talked about are there because of these folks. These community support groups, they do so much work behind the scenes to support the airmen of the 944th and Team Luke as a whole. Man, I couldn't be more thankful. I was also proud to be able to tell all the news outlets, you know, what great community support we have here in the Valley. It's in all of my career, I've never seen anything like this with the Fighter Country, the Blue Blazers, the honoraries, the Booster Club. Man, my hat's off to all of you guys, and thank you for what you do for the airmen of the 944th. Okay, I think that is it for the questions. So let me just close by asking Chief, do you have any parting words?
Just two real small things. So, boss, you talked about some of our folks here in the wing that are making masks. I want to be sure that we give a good shout out to Jessica Maldonado and the Key Spouses. Right, I want to make sure that we recognize them because they're tirelessly making these masks and bringing them in. I can't tell you, I've got 2 containers full in my office that were made from these fantastic people. So great, big thanks to them as well. And then all promotions are important, right? But we had a really, really important one today in our Chiefs group. Chief Gene Thomas is pinned on yesterday. Yep, we officially, unofficially gave him the Jeep, and we wanted to provide him a little pain on trying to hide it. And now that I'm up here and I'm sneaky, so Chief Thomas, I'm coming for you. But we're really proud of you, and that's it, sir. I'm happy to be here, blessed to be part of this wing and be your teammate. So thanks.
Yeah, thanks. You know, if we were in the hangar, it would be echoing right now. I think with the ammo guys, right? What did they say? I can't remember what they said.
If you ain't ammo, you ain't.
All right. So awesome. So congrats, Chief.
Oh, I think we got one more coming in. That's awesome.
All right.
Hope it's not for me. I hope it's for you this time.
Is there a forum for all units to share different ideas on completing telecon training? I will say yes. There's a variety of ways to share that information. I would start with the app, the Air Force Connect app. If you have that on your phone, there is a way that you can send a message direct
Action line.
the action line. That's what it's called. You can send that message. It comes straight to Chief and I and Public Affairs, and we can get those messages to where they need to go. I would start there, and then obviously the Mission Support Group (FSS) are where a lot of those efforts are sort of, they're the point of contact for a lot of those folks. So when, if those messages come to me, I'm gonna send them to Colonel Wihangi and Major Takashigi and her team, or you can just take them directly there. So that's where I would start, is if you have great ideas on telecom stuff and how to get the training, start there. All right. Antibody testing. Okay. Any word on antibody testing available for military personnel? So we've had these conversations, and I don't want to jump out in front of our medical personnel because I'm clearly a Cro-Magnon aviator and am not as bright as our medical personnel. But this is the way it's been explained to me by our medical professionals: is there is an antibody test out there. But apparently there's more than one different kind of antibodies, and there are some that sort of pop up in response to a immediate threat, and then there are different ones that sort of stay with you and protect you for years against infections. And so there's some debate right now on as to whether the tests that are out there will tell you if you are, resistant to the COVID virus for the long term. And so I would advise folks, don't run out and pay for your own antibody test. It's out there. If you feel that it gives you peace of mind and your insurance covers it or whatever, knock yourselves out. But for now, the tests that are out there have not been blessed by the medical community to give us the assurance that we're looking for, to say this person is immune to the virus or not. So that's my my knuckle dragging aviators interpretation. I'm sure that I got it wrong. So please, medical pros, correct me on the comments. But my advice is, please don't go out and spend your own money on an antibody test, because it's probably not gonna get you a permit to just avoid all the restrictions. So we're hoping that will be soon, but unfortunately it's not yet. All right. I think that's it for the questions. So let me close it out, and just say, folks, I'm proud of every one of you and the work that you're doing over the past year. You have impressed me every day with your professionalism and your resilience. We've faced some pretty unpredicted challenges over the last year, whether it's money going away or a global pandemic, and you folks have taken it all in stride, and my hat's off to all of you. You are all, every single one of you, essential to the mission of this organization, and don't ever forget that. I'm proud to serve with you. I'm proud to be on your team. Now let's go out this UTA and make something amazing happen. All right, forge and fight. And before we end, I think we're pushing out a link to the mission video, so please give that a look and get pumped up for the rest of the UTA. Forge and fight, y'all. Thanks for listening in.
We're off.
Okay.
That was rough.
Are you sure we're off? It's flashing.